Welcome back to the channel, my friends. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and today we're taking a look at this week's pre-orders, and they are live. This video is sponsored by CMO Games. More on that later. You guys know what time it is. The Space Marine release is here. Now keep in mind this is a 2-week pre-order period. So pre-orders going live today will not ship next Saturday like they normally would. They will ship the following Saturday after that. So let's take a look at what we've got going on. So first off, we have the Genefather Special Edition and Codex Space Marine Collector's Edition. I do expect both of those to sell out relatively quickly. Genefather is signed and numbered, 1,500 copies. It is the story of Fabius Bile and Belisarius Cawl. And then we have the Codex Space Marine Collector's Edition. And we don't know exactly how many of these have been made, but it is limited edition. And typically these codexes will sell out relatively quickly. Of course, we would expect that they have made quite a few of the Space Marine version, but it's also going to be the most popular. So I do expect that to be gone relatively quickly. And then we have the actual Codex Space Marines. So $60 for that. And I'm definitely going to be picking this up as Space Marines are some of my main armies. So it is worth note here that because the Space Marine Codex is releasing, that the free index rules are going to be removed based on what we saw Games Workshop do with the Tyranids. So that puts us in a weird situation because Games Workshop basically made it seem like all the rules were going to be free this edition. I wish that they would keep the basic index rules free, maybe have like one detachment still, like in this case, the Gladius Task Force. And then they had all the extra detachments and enhancements and everything like that in the Codex. Because I think one of the biggest issues I've always had with the way Games Workshop does things is when you look at these box sets like a Combat Patrol or something like that, and someone's thinking about getting into the game, they think, okay, $160, maybe I can get a little discount on it. Let me go ahead and pick this up. And then they realize, okay, actually, I'm going to need this $60 Codex also. I need the rulebook for the game. And then next thing you know, it just really adds up, and it's harder to get people to put their foot in the door. And while I personally love the codexes, I love the lore, the backstories, the art, all that cool stuff, and I've been buying them for years, knowing that they're going to get invalidated, I'm at least used to it to the point where I don't get the feel bad moment the same way that most people do. But I really wish Games Workshop would have left all of the war scrolls or like data sheets free and then just provided like those task force rules, etc. Because the fact of the matter is, if people aren't going to pay for the book to get the rules, they're just going to download the stuff for free from someone online. But I don't think that actually giving away the data sheets is going to stop very many people from buying the Codex. So you get all the benefits by just giving people the data sheets for free, and it doesn't really cost you anything as far as sales. But that's just my opinion. I think overall, Games Workshop definitely sold this edition like all of the base rules were going to be free. And I think pulling away the data sheets or the index rules just because you're releasing the Codex is sort of a slap in the face. That's just my opinion. Now we'll see what happens also if this Codex Space Marine sells out. Because if you're located in an area, specifically we typically look at like UK, Europe, and North America, United States. If you're in one of those areas and the Space Marine Codex is sold out, you're not even going to be able to play your army. So it doesn't really make much sense to me that they don't at least have like the basic rules for free. But that's my opinion. I'm not surprised by this, as Games Workshop has done it in the past with like previous index editions like 8th edition. But I really hate to see them essentially walking back one of the most positive changes that they made for 10th. And moving right along, we have the Datasheet Cards, Space Marines, $40 for those. And then we have the Combat Patrol as well, $160. And then we have the first of our new models. So first is the Company Heroes. They are very cool, $65 for them. Does include a captain also. So the captain is pretty much selling for like $40 at this point in time for your generic captain. So you're basically paying $25 for the retinue. Pretty cool. And then obviously you don't have to take them with a captain. You could take like a chaplain or something else and then have the Company Heroes. Awesome models. Definitely happy to see them replace the old, outdated Command Squad. All right, and next we've got the Terminator Squad. So $65 for these bad boys. Definitely love the new scale of the new models, and the Terminators are some of my favorites. And we finally have the return of a Chaplain in Terminator armor back into the regular Space Marine range. Definitely happy to see that. $42 for this guy. And then probably one of the most awaited releases, the Jump Pack Intercessors. So definitely happy to see a dedicated combat unit with jump packs. Very, very nice. I do like the models. They're pretty cool. They're not perfect by any means, but I'm really looking forward to see what the community does with these. I would imagine we're going to see some awesome conversions, Probably some super cool like rebasing techniques. And definitely looking forward to putting some of these bad boys on the table. All right, and then we had the Captain with Jump Pack next. So $40 for the Captain with Jump Pack. Great looking model, some cool options, and definitely going to change the game. And then we have the Sternguard Veteran Squad. $60 for those. Definitely some nice looking models right there. I am a big fan of the new Sternguard. Obviously, the easy to build Terminators and Sternguard from the Leviathan box set are nice, but the full kits are even better with lots and lots of cool options. And then we had the Space Marine Lieutenant. So this was the same guy that we previously saw when they released the Brutalis Dreadnought and Desolation Marines. He's cool. He's got a bunch of weapon and equipment options. Definitely a nice looking lieutenant. Now a quick message from today's sponsor. CMO Games has been selling Games Workshop products online for over 20 years. They carry the full line of Games Workshop products, including Warhammer 40,000, Age of Sigmar, Necromunda, Blood Bowl, paint tools, and more. Almost all Games Workshop products are priced at 15% off MSRP. CMO Games takes pre-orders for most Games Workshop products released at their earliest date possible. 12:01 a.m. on Saturday, they go live. Most of these pre-order products are also priced at 15% off MSRP. CMO Games offer free shipping in the US 48 with an order of $50 or more. Their customer service is top-notch and they ship most orders within 24 hours. Visit CMOGames.com using the affiliate link in the description and let them know that you heard about CMO Games from Warhammer Man. Now back to the video. All right, and then speaking of Desolation Marines and the Brutalis Dreadnought, we see them available for sale for the first time. So you guys know I am pretty displeased with the Desolation Squad getting nerfed like really, really badly, and then also the price at $60. It is pretty crazy to see them selling the 5 Desolation Marines for the price of an entire Hellblaster squad, and it's only 2 sprues for 5 models. So there's really no excuse for why this is twice the price of a Hellblaster squad. And then we had the Brutalis Dreadnought. So we did see the price increase on the Brutalis here. So previously, the Redemptor chassis was $75 for that. And we don't actually have a price on the Ballistus yet because it's only the easy to build from the Leviathan set. But always hate to see them release a new model and slowly hit us with that price creep. So $80 at this point in time for the Brutalis Dreadnought. Awesome model. Comes with almost no options at all. You basically swap out the multi-meltas for heavy bolters. You swap out the claws for fists. Awesome model. Great in game terms, but no reason for the price increase. All right, and then we see the chapter-approved Leviathan mission deck. So these are returning after the initial debacle. They were originally available for sale, but had some issues with the backing on some of them, making them marked cards, so they did have to recall them. Now, if you purchased the Leviathan set, the actual mission cards that came in there were completely fine, nothing to worry about. It was only if you purchased this deck when it originally came out. And you should have been notified from whoever you purchased it from there was a recall, or I'm sure you would have noticed by now that there were some marked cards. So then we see the Space Marine dice set. So these are super cool. Definitely a big fan of the blue. Has nothing to do with the fact that I play Ultramarines. Nice little Imperial pip. It is only 16 dice in this set, and they are $32. So $2 a piece. And then we see the Genefather hardback. So if you don't want to shell out the extra dough for the special edition, $75, you can get just the regular hardback for $30. Again, these tend to sell out relatively quickly as well. There's usually a little bit of a delay when they release the special edition and the hardback together because it kind of cannibalizes sales a bit. But once the limited edition is gone, the hardback is usually pretty quick to sell out as well. Then we see the Wrath of the Lost paperback coming out here for $17.99. And that's pretty much it for this week's releases. A bunch of vampire stuff for Blood Bowl left over from last week. And then we saw the Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring, Battle in Balin's Tomb. And then, of course, our 2 new Cerastus Knights, the Castigator and Acheron. And then, as expected, the Cyphus Cane for the Emperor Special Edition did, in fact, sell out. So, very cool. We do have the 2-week pre-order period in effect. So, these models are not going to be selling or shipped next Saturday. It's going to be the following week. Over that time, I do expect some of these items to sell out. Also, I've heard that there are some weird limitations on stores. So I would imagine Games Workshop is trying to put those feelers out, trying to get as much business for themselves through the direct website, and whatever's left after those initial pre-order sales, they will ship out. Very happy to see that they did not do the queue for this, as I was a little worried that they were going to be doing the queue, which would give me the impression that this release is going to be limited. I really, really hope that we don't see any supply issues, specifically with the Codex, ideally with the Datasheet Cards. But realistically, I just don't want to see them have massive shortages on the new Space Marine stuff when we already see the entire Tyranid range is completely sold out and the majority of the Space Marine range is sold out as well. We saw the delays on Legion Imperialis, and we're already into the fourth quarter, which means we have like the Christmas boxes being manufactured. We have a new season of Kill Team and Warcry getting ready to start, and we're already in the last year of the Age of Sigmar edition. So Games Workshop has been falling further and further behind with each of its new releases. We're seeing unintended delays and unintended consequences. Lots of the actual current catalog is sold out, and it's really just compounding as they release more and more stuff. We're seeing shortages in the new stuff. We're seeing shortages on the restocks, items that have been out of stock for 6 months, a year, even more in some cases. So I'm not sure where Games Workshop is going to find some extra time or manufacturing capacity to get caught up, but I think this Space Marine release is going to be a big marker for what's to come. So let's hope that the Space Marine launch goes off without any serious issues and Games Workshop can get its manufacturing back on track. Definitely a little bit salty about Games Workshop pulling the indexes down. I do wish they would have kept up at least the data sheets and like the bare minimum rules so that new players or people that were less interested in buying like the books and the paper and stuff could still use their models in game. I think one of the best things Games Workshop did this edition was at least give people the impression that the rules were going to be free. So I hate to see them walk it back, even if this was their intention the entire time. Definitely a lot of people are going to feel hoodwinked off this one. So let me know what you think down below. Always like to hear back from you guys in the comments. What are you excited for? What are you going to be picking up? Were you able to get the limited items before they sold out? And special thanks to CMO Games for sponsoring the video. Check them out to save 15% on any of these new releases. Link in the description. That's it for today. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man. And it looks like I'm going to be painting some new Space Marines in a couple weeks when they come out. And I'm out of here.